I believe the chair, the gentlelady from New Hampshire, seeks recognition to strike the last word.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I want to start by saying what an honor it is to be a part of this committee as the first person in 70 years from New Hampshire to be on the Agriculture Committee. And I want to address the poverty that we have in our rural communities and in our communities that ought to be feeding our people. I share the comments about our support for food banks. I share the comments about my colleagues talking about individual responsibility. Where I come from, it's everyone's responsibility. But the challenge is that the shelves of our food banks have been bare, and the challenge is that individuals simply cannot meet the needs. I also want to address my colleague, Mr. Fincher, who was quoting the Bible about work and need. Because in my community, I just received an email that our unemployment rate is now down to 5.5%. Now, that would be enviable for almost any district in this country. But at the same time, we have 118,000 people receiving SNAP benefits. And of those people, 43% are from working families. The paycheck that they are bringing home is not sufficient to feed their family. And SNAP is supplemental nutrition. It does not cover the needs. $1.32 per meal. And I would challenge you and all of our colleagues to imagine feeding a family of 4. I'm a working mom. I've fed a family of 4. And with 2 sons that are 6'2", I can't fathom feeding them on $1.32 per meal. And so I ask my colleagues.
Would the gentlelady yield?
I would yield.
I'll allude back to Mr. Scott's comments a few minutes ago of 72% of the money going toward nutrition, 15%. What is the number? What percentage?
And you ask this question
it
as though that is the question. And let me say, a lower percentage would be great. But you will be asking me later in this markup to spend billions of dollars on direct aid, on commodities, on corporations that get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and you're asking me whether we can't afford as a nation to feed starving children $1.32 per meal? I suggest you're asking the wrong question about the percentage, because I would love for the percentage to be less. But let me tell you,
so would I.
If you are asking for funding for corporations
we're not talking
that are
about
doing,
corporations.
we are in the 15%. And I have to say, I have providers in my state. I have producers in my state. That's why I sit on this committee. But I can tell you, their food is not getting to the people in need. And so I suggest, as my co-sponsor has suggested, we need a hearing on this topic, and we need to solve the issue of how to feed children, but not a blanket across-the-board cut. I yield the balance of my time to the sponsor of this amendment, and I am very grateful for the opportunity to stand up for both the farmers and the children in my district.
I want to thank the gentlelady. Again, she already said what I'm about to say, and that is, if you're worried about that nutrition is too big a part of the Farm Bill, wouldn't you think it would have been worth at least one hearing? We had no hearings. We had no hearings on this. I thank the gentlelady.
I yield back the balance to the chair. Thank you.
Seeing no